Hey everybody, this is Dustin from Atlas Architectural Solutions. I'm standing out here in a field with the infamous cross from the movie The Last Trip. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on the building process. Give you a little description of how I built it. Well, mainly for anybody that's interested, mainly for me and my own memory, in case I ever had to rebuild it or whatever, or any similar project. Alright, let's get started. Now let's get a back shot of its entirety. Let's look at that monster. Yep, thing's overall height about 10 foot. That's a 10-foot high cross, and it was engineered with the actress in mind that was going to be displayed on it. So the center of the cross is roughly the center of her back, so her arms will outstretch at, roughly, more or less perfectly horizontal, and there's her little footstool for her to stand on. Building was pretty simple. I started out with a 5-foot by 5-foot base grid here. That's 2x8s, pretty sturdy. Start out with that module. Notice I left the center measured out perfectly for that 6x6 post cross to fit in, and that's how that was built. Roughly a 10-foot piece, maybe shaved down a little bit, and a 6-foot piece. The centers were hewn out with a sawzall, and they were placed together more or less perfect. And there were a few little adjustments I had to make afterwards, but overall it looks fairly symmetrical. Those 45-degree angle hews on the ends, they line up, match up perfectly. I was real proud of that, and that's what I wanted. Wanted the overall design to be, wholly perfect and sinister, with the weird looking base and contraption. I wanted kind of a see, what's the word? I wanted it to look both holy and sinister, like a good cross crucifix with also looks like a gallows or a torture device or something. It kind of, well, if you see the movie, you'll definitely know what context it is. That's about it. Started off mainly with a base grid. Assembled it first, laid it out here, then built the cross. Put together with, those are 3-inch lag screws with a 90-degree angle brackets, which we painted to make it look artificially rusted. That wasn't really necessary, but it was better than a shiny chrome piece, the directors thought. So Atlas Architectural was happy to oblige. Then of course came the little foot module. It was assembled separately. Not too complicated there. Oh, those big silver things. Yeah, those were key to the construction of this project. Those are 6-inch lag screws. And here's an example right here. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that thing ain't going anywhere. And oh well. That's a 3.5-inch just plain wood screw with a hex head, a star bit, which I've been leaning toward here lately, especially with things that have to be assembled and disassembled and reassembled somewhere else, like mobile stages or platforms or anything like that. Things that aren't permanent. Much like this cross, which we're lucky enough to have a really good patron that didn't mind having it on our property. We really appreciate that, and it being up as long as it has. But that might not always be the case. So these, I'm babbling on about star bit heads. They're better than Phillips heads because they don't strip as much. The star bit locks down in there and it turns. You got to be pretty talented to strip one of these things out. So Atlas Architectural will employ the use of these whenever necessary. They're a little costly, a little more costly, but benefits far outweigh the cost, that's for sure. Swear by them. As you can see, we have the lag screws here in the diagonals. That's what I mean, a massive 6x6 cross. I didn't want it going anywhere, especially with somebody standing on it right here. And these done the job. Yeah, that looks a little askew, but it's actually plumb. You know, I wish I had this camera when we actually built the thing. It would have been a lot more easier. But between this and my memory, I should be able to replicate this again. And well, yeah, here's an example of where we leveled it up and then staked it to make sure the platform doesn't go anywhere. So look at that. Hardly moving at all. You know I'm pretty big. Yeah, this cross is in its final days. It's sad, but it's gonna have to go. Much as I enjoy building it, it was a good kickoff project for Atlas Architectural Solutions, and we were proud to be a part of the last trip. Until next time, goodbye.